Good day everyone, I'm Jasmine Reyes from Piped 2D, and today I'm gonna be your teacher and introduce to you the history of gymnastics. So before we start our discussion, let us know what our objectives for today. At the end of the lesson, the students are able to define the meaning of gymnastics, learn the background history of gymnastics, and lastly, define the different equipments used in gymnastics. And now, what is the meaning of word gymnastics? The word gymnastics derives from the common Greek adjective gymnos, which means naked, by way of the related verb gymnazo, whose meaning is to train naked. The verb had this meaning because athletes in ancient times exercised and competed without clothing. It came into use in the 1570s from Latin gymnasticus, from Greek gymnastikos, fond of or skilled in bodily exercise, from gymnazein, to exercise or train. So now let's move to the history of gymnastics. In 1569, Girolamo Mercuriale from Fort Lee, Italy, wrote L'Arte Gymnastica, which brought together his study of the attitudes of the ancients toward diet, exercise, and hygiene, and the use of natural methods for the cure of disease. L'Arte Gymnastica also explained the principles of physical therapy and is considered the first book on sports medicine. In the late 18th and early 19th century, Johann Friedrich Gatzmatz and Friedrich Ludwig Jahn created exercises for boys and young men on apparatus they had designed that ultimately led to what is considered modern gymnastics. Don Francisco Amoros y Odiano introduced educative gymnastics in France. John promoted the use of parallel bars, rings, and high bar in international competition. During the 1920s, women organized and participated in gymnastics events. The first women's Olympic competition was primitive, only involving synchronized calisthenics and track and field. These games were held in 1928 in Amsterdam. From then on until the early 1950s, both national and international competitions involved a changing variety of exercises, so by 1954, Olympic Games apparatus and events for both men and women had been standardized in modern format and uniform grading structures, including a point system from 1 to 15, had been agreed upon. Nadia Comaneci received the first perfect score at the 1976 Summer Olympics held in Montreal, Canada. She was coached in Romania by coach Hungarian ethnicity, Bella Karoli. And lastly, in 2006, a new point system for artistic gymnastics was put into play with an A score or D score being the difficulty score, which as of 2009 is based on the top 8 high-scoring elements in a routine excluding vault. The B score for E score is the score for execution and is given for how well and the skills are performed. To sum it up, gymnastics is a graceful and artistic sport that requires a combination of strength, balance, agility, and muscle coordination, usually performed on specialized apparatus. Gymnasts perform sequences of movements requiring flexibility, endurance, and kinesthetic awareness, such as handsprings, handstands, split leaps, aerials, and cartwheels. Gymnastics, as we know it, dates back to ancient Greece. The early Greeks practiced gymnastics to prepare for war. Activities like jumping, running, discus throwing, wrestling, and boxing helped develop the muscles needed for hand-to-hand combat. Additional fitness practices used by the ancient tricks included methods for mounting and dismounting a horses and a variety of circus performance skills. And now we're done on the history of gymnastics. Let's move on to the equipments of gymnastics. The first equipment that we're going to discuss is the steel rings. These steel rings are made by two parallel rings with 50 centimeter apart, suspended from a cable and straps and held, one in each hand for a series of exercises in men's artistic gymnastics, particularly requiring stillness of the body. It is also called the rings. So the next one is the uneven bars. This is an apparatus in which women artistic gymnastics with a top bar of 2.4 meter above the floor and a lower bar of 1.6 meter high. It is used for a continuous series of grip changes, releases, new grasps, and other complex moves. The next one is the high bar. This high bar is used only for the men gymnastic artistic. This bar is standing 2.7 meters high. It is also called the horizontal bar. Next, parallel bars artistic, an apparatus consisting of two wooden rails on uprights, adjustable in height and used for swinging, vaulting, and balancing exercises in men's artistic gymnastics. The next one is the ball. It is made of either rubber or synthetic material, pliable plastic, provided it possesses the same elasticity as rubber. It is from 18 to 20 centimeter in diameter and must have a minimum weight of 400 grams. The ball can be of any color and should rest in the gymnast's hand, not the wrist. A pommel horse, a solid apparatus 115 centimeters high with two handles, or pommels on the top, that men in artistic gymnastics used for a series of maneuvers defined by complex hand placements and body positions while holding themselves above the apparatus. The next one is the hoop. This hoop is an apparatus in rhythmic gymnastics and may be made of plastic or wood, provided that it retains its shape during the routine. The interior diameter is from 51 to 90 centimeter and the hoop must weigh a minimum of 300 grams. So the last one is the ribbon. It is made of satin or another similar material clothed of any color. So this ribbon was used by women's gymnastic artistic. So these were our topics ends. I hope you learned a lot today. Enjoy the day. Class dismissed.